Hello again and welcome back. We're following up from the last video. We talked about, or we brought up Toys R Us, which is
Hmm.
pretty important right now. Toys R Us is finished. They were trying to recover from the bankruptcy and made a huge blunder, I thought, because in the process of recovering from this bankruptcy,
Hmm.
they borrowed $309 million.
Oh wow.
I think the number was 309 to help them through their process of liquidation
Hmm.
of the initial 182 stores they were going to get rid of. Then they added 200 more. Then it was all the stores in the UK. Now it's we give up, we're done. And it's all, they're going to close all 800 North American stores. I don't think they should have borrowed any money.
Yeah.
That was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And it's part of the problem. This is it's going to have a huge impact on, first of all, the stores themselves.
Yes.
You're going to have all these jobs that are lost.
Yeah.
You figure 800 plus stores, that's a lot of employees. Even though it's a skeleton crew, you go in there, there's like what, maybe 8, 10 people working in there at a time.
Hmm.
But it's still it's still people's jobs. It's going to restrict where you can go
Hmm.
to make your toy purchases. And I'll tell you right now, between Walmart and Amazon, this is why they're taking a beating in the first place.
Especially Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon did them pretty dirty in some of their deals.
Well, Amazon is easier to find stuff on Amazon. You go to Toys R
Sometimes,
Us, you
yeah,
go to the one closest to you. They don't have the product. You ask the store
they
clerk.
don't
They
know
don't
nothing.
know nothing. I never heard of
No
that
store clerk
before.
knows anything.
So then you go to Amazon, you find it, it's free shipping, sometimes it's even cheaper, and
Hmm.
then you don't really have to go out,
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
But this puts you in a position where there is no more big toy store, and you're going to have to rely more so on either online purchases or going directly to uh, a department store like Target or Walmart for their toy department, especially around Christmas. They expanded anyways.
Yeah.
Walmart outstripped them in sales last year,
Oh, did
which
they?
did not help. It
Mm,
did not help. But Walmart, they can buy stuff cheaper and they can have a better deal.
yeah.
There's a huge impact on manufacturers because all
Yeah.
these toy manufacturers are scratching their heads like, oh, geez, like think about Lego, for example.
Yeah.
800 plus stores, how many millions of units of Legos do you think they sell in Toys R Us? And they're
Mm,
like, oh, that's going to be like, what, 10, 15% of our income across the board. That's a big deal.
yeah. But
That is
then
a
I
big
mean, you
deal.
can buy Legos at Walmart
That's the
and
problem.
Target.
That's what I mean. But Lego has its own stores, which are in
Yeah.
trouble now,
Oh,
anyways.
are they?
Their sales are down.
Well, Legos are
They
expensive,
are expensive,
you
and
know.
they're getting. I think that their problem. I know we're getting off track a little bit. Their problem is more along the lines of narrowing their focus on adult collectors rather
Hmm.
than what they used to do,
Hmm.
because before they used to have their own Lego world, their little figure, oh, we're going to do police, oh, we're going to do firemen, whatever.
Hmm.
And for the kids,
Hmm.
kids are not spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on an expansive Star Wars set. Adult collectors are doing that,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
that's a smaller market. That's a narrower market than when they're used to,
Hmm.
and I think that that's hurting them. But anyways,
Back to Toys R
back to
Us.
Toys R Us. And the one impact that I see
Hmm.
is that it's the end of an era.
Hmm.
It's watching an era die. This is something that we all grew up with, was the big box toy store.
Yeah.
There's none left. Toys R Us is like the last one.
Yeah.
It's like Saturday morning cartoons. We grew up with that.
Hmm.
That was fun. Congress killed it. No joke. Congress interfering with the Saturday morning television is part of the reason why it disappeared between that and cable TV.
Yeah.
So that's an era that was, God, children's entertainment television ran from the 50s all the way up until the mid 80s and then just dwindled off and disappeared.
Hmm.
And things like that, or like the corner drugstore, not the drugstore where you go to get medications, a true drugstore for decades up until about the mid 70s, I think,
Hmm.
was a place where you went to get a soda, you went to get a burger,
Yeah, ice
there was
cream.
candy and ice cream. They had bar stools and you hung out there.
Yeah.
You could get prescriptions filled, but it was also like a community place. And there was a hair of them left at the tail end of the 90s when Woolworth went out of business, because Woolworth still prescribed to that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They still had a few of those like uh, soda joint sort of drugstore places set up. But this is the end of an era in that respect where we've seen them all disappear and die. Child World, I think, was the first one to die.
Yeah.
And they were in business from 1970 to 1992.
Oh, that wasn't
I
that
didn't
long.
know they lasted that long,
Hmm.
but I thought they would die sooner than that because they were also Children's Palace.
Okay, I
Child
remember
World, Child's World and Children's Palace were the same company. I think Child World with the panda as the mascot
Mm-hmm.
and used to roller skate around in the commercials. Child World was a big store. It was the size of Toys R Us or bigger. And Child World folded and Children's Palace hung on until 1992. And they were killed in competition with Toys R Us, quite frankly. Toys R Us is responsible for the demise of Child World. Then you had KB Toy Stores,
I remember them.
which was in business since 1922.
Mm.
They were long standing and they had up to like 1,300 locations at one point. Mall locations. These are the ones you always found in the mall.
Mm.
And if you buy vintage toys, you'll notice a lot of them have a clearance tag on them from KB Toy Stores. It's got the red line through the price tag, and then they hand wrote a new price. That's how they used to do it. And they dwindled down. I think in like 2001, they started doing seasonal. All of their main stores were shut, but they would open up around like November and run for a couple of months in a spot in the mall like the Halloween store does.
Yeah, and the calendar store does that too.
Yeah, until in 2009 they were bought out by Toys R Us.
Mm.
Toys R Us absorbed them and liquidated their assets. I guess it was their way of getting rid of the competition altogether.
Yeah.
And then there was FAO Schwarz, the oldest of the big boy big stores. FAO Schwarz, 1862 to 2015, when they were bought out by Toys R Us. FAO Schwarz was more of a high-end store. They had all the same stuff Toys R Us does. It was just at a bigger markup. They were not cheap, but going to the store was like an adventure because it was like 2-3 story building. It played loud music. It had all these automaton robots in the store. It had life-size Lego men in displays, huge displays of toys and things that they did. So it was like you wanted to go just to hang out there and just look around. The kids got a kick out of it, whether they got something or not. Plus, you could play with some of the stuff.
That's always good.
Yeah. So Toys R Us bought them out. And last year, a company called 360 Group, because Toys R Us is financially hurting, quite frankly, probably because of the buyouts between buying out KB Toy Stores in 2009 and then buying out FAO Schwarz in like 2015. That's a heavy burden. That's like Sears buying out Kmart, and you see how that's worked out.
Yeah.
There's a company called 360 Group that bought the FAO Schwarz rights back from Toys R Us last year and reopened the New York Flag Store. And I don't know how well that's working out.
So it's a lot.
It's a lot to consider. And so keep an eye out. They have not started liquidating, but there should be folded up in the next 2 months.
That's what I heard. And we went this morning
60
to
days.
Toys R Us. And the one that we went to, they don't even have a sale up yet.
No, not yet.
And but
they were empty. There's nobody there but employees.
But the shelves were stocked.
Yeah.
And they were at regular price. But we went to one a few weeks ago, and they were starting
one of the clearance ones.
Yeah, they had already started marking down. So
they still wouldn't let me get that Funko Freddy display, even though they're selling fixtures. Son of a! I want that Freddy. But so keep an eye out for clearances because they don't have much time.
Yeah.
They want to kill it in 2 months, literally like 60 days is what we're hearing. So watch out for the clearances. Don't wait too long on certain things, I guess, because it's gonna go fast. You
Mhm.
know, the stuff that, oh yeah, you know, maybe if I wait till next week till it's like 40% off, because you know they're
Yeah.
gonna start as low as they can. They're
Yeah.
probably gonna start at like 20%,
Mhm.
because that's where they started their other liquidation at, was at 20. And they're creeping along with that because it had been like 3 or 4 weeks by the time we got there,
Yeah.
and it was still at 20. And it's like, God, you know, come on. And then they start progressing it where every week it's like 10 more percent because they try to push along.
Mhm.
So watch out for that. Don't be too greedy because it could disappear. Remember, you can buy store fixtures because it's a liquidation.
Mhm.
So if they have displays and the company isn't being weird about it like Funko is, because the sticker that was on that Funko Freddy said company recall,
Yeah.
but they'll sell other displays and fixtures. So you know, if you need like store shelving or something for your collection, good time to get it.
Yeah.
If you've got gift cards or coupons, use them
Yeah. Use them
quickly,
now.
because in another month they're not going to be taking them anymore. They won't honor them
Yeah.
because of the bankruptcy. It's going to cut those gift cards off and you lose that money. So
Mhm.
don't lose your money. And it's kind of sad actually. Like I said, it's the end of an era.
Yeah. And then that's gonna only leave you to for adult collectors. It's only gonna leave you with what you call comic book stores
Yeah.
and like eBay and Amazon, where you might get, well, definitely at the comic book and eBay, you're
Mhm.
gonna get marked up prices.
Conventions.
Yeah, conventions. So you won't have toy stores like Toys R Us
Yeah.
for markdowns and sales and stuff like that, and to use your coupons, because Toys R Us had coupons. They weren't always great,
No.
but they did have coupons that you could use. So it's gonna really cut that down because on Amazon you don't get coupons.
No.
You can get gift cards, but not
Yeah.
coupons.
And then you never know what you're going to get, because we've done a few videos where we've
Mhm.
gotten smashed up stuff from Amazon because they're pretty careless.
They are getting better though. I must admit
They
that
need to.
they are getting better because I know I've returned a lot of stuff and they had to
Mhm.
refund my money and pay the shipping. So
Yeah, maybe they
yeah,
learned
they
their
are
lesson.
getting better.
And you know, it doesn't leave you with too many. There's not too many specialty shops out there.
No.
Barnes and Noble is starting to put
Yeah.
more collector stuff out because they're covering a lot of stuff from Tamashii and Figuarts now.
Yeah. And they handle their figures better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just handling them and putting them
Mhm.
on the shelf. And usually you can find stuff there.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
But yeah,
you can find stuff.
it's just to me kind of sad that you're just not going to be seeing that anymore. That
Mhm.
you're going to have to rely on places like Walmart almost exclusively.
Yeah.
You know,
Walmart and
or
Target and
Target.
God knows, you
And
know.
who else? Menards?
Menards is a hardware
Hardware store. I'm
store.
thinking of it. You know who I'm thinking of.
Meyer, but
Myers.
that's not
Myers.
in Georgia.
No, that's not in Georgia.
Mm-mm.
It's in Illinois. But
Yeah.
there's other Myers. But you know, places like that
Mhm.
where they compartmentalize everything because you just can't find it all in one place anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of sad.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll do like these pop-up shops on Christmas time.
Like KB did.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and other stores like the Halloween store and stuff like that. Maybe. Who knows?
Well, it remains to be seen, but it's not looking good for them at all. The more that they've done to try to fix it, the more they've messed it up. And you almost have to wonder if they didn't do it on purpose, just to put an end to it. Because why would you, if you were bankrupt and you're in debt, why would you borrow $309 million? Why would somebody loan them $309 million?
I don't know because I
That
don't
doesn't
know.
make any sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So, hey, sorry to see that end. If you have any thoughts or ideas about the subject, please go ahead and put it in the comment section down below.
Mhm.
Please do like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out some of our other content. We do cover a lot of things, discussions like this, unboxings,
Mhm.
comic books sometimes,
Sometimes.
stuff like that. You know, different things. So we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. I think you're funny. Cute, yes. Funny, no.
Whatever.
You're not funny. You are very cute, though.
Stop it.
Pinch those cheeks.